Hello everybody and welcome to TJ's Lego Room, and today I'm kind of excited because I think today will make the very first time I've done a sequel to a video. And the reason I consider this a sequel is because last week I brought to you a speeder bike that was done by Brick Fanatics, and it was amazing. It was the best speeder bike that I've seen to date. As far as like replicating one from Return of the Jedi or the white one that we saw in The Mandalorian that was driven by the Scout Troopers. But today I'm actually going to be showing you a speeder bike again, but this speeder bike is from The Mandalorian. Wait, that's the same thing as last time. Sorry, this speeder bike was from episode 5 of The Mandalorian, the Gunslinger, and it is the speeder bike that Djarin rode out into the deserts of Tatooine in order to capture Fennec Shand. And Fennec Shand promptly blew it up. But that's the speeder bike that I'm showing you today. Ta-da! All right, so this is my own version of the Mandalorian speeder bike from episode 5, the Gunslinger. And just real quick, I want to let you guys know that I am trying to get the instructions up on Rebrickable.com for this set. They are not up just yet, but I am working on it, and hopefully they'll be up the same day that this video goes out. I don't know if it'll be at the same time, but we'll work on it. All right, so let's talk about this craft. I am really excited to show this to you guys because, again, this is not one that somebody else designed. I designed it myself. So I did take some inspiration from a few different places. I had seen these fins on the front be used on a speeder bike before, and the connections were really good. So I went ahead and used that same technique on those. And then going up the shaft of the speeder bike, the little support shafts there, those I put together on my own. And then these handles right here, I'm really excited. And I'll show you guys those a really good close-up in just a minute, because those handles I think are going to revolutionize the way a lot of people do speeder bikes in the future. But those of you who have seen my video last week on the speeder bikes will recognize a very similar technique on the bottom here, how the Mandalorian sits on the speeder bike. For some reason, I couldn't find my actual Din Djarin minifigure from the Mandalorian, and so I'm using one of the Battle Pack Mandalorians to show off the speeder bike today. Don't worry, I'm sure he's here somewhere. I'm sure I'll be able to find him. Don't worry about it. All right. So another couple things I was really proud of is on the back, I was able to get that gentle slope coming upwards, but I actually figured out something. So I also got the back end here, get some little cargo area and stuff like that. But I want to show you the speeder bike from last week real quick and show you something interesting, which really influenced the way I built the speeder bike I'm doing now. So when a trooper sits on the speeder bikes from Return of the Jedi or in the Mandalorian, the Scout Troopers, they don't look like this. They don't sit on the ship, on the speeder bike like that. But what I found is if you draw a line from their hips down to their feet, so sorry, let me use the arrow here, from their hips down to their feet, that's pretty close to the angle that you get when you're looking at the speeder bikes, at least as far as I could remember, or maybe it's just a feeling. Anyway, that's kind of what I did when I built Din Djarin's speeder bike from the Mandalorian. I drew a line from his hips to his feet, and they were quite a ways forward, and so that's why the angle on his legs here, or actually her legs, this is one of the female Mandalorians, the angle on this minifigure's legs is a lot more shallow than on the speeder bike. Let's just pull that up for comparison. You can see that's a pretty sharp angle going upwards, and then this speeder bike, you sit down a lot more. So that's a little hint for you guys out there if you're trying to make your own speeder bikes or any kind of a vehicle a minifigure is sitting on and trying to make it look realistic. If you draw a line from the person's hips to their feet, that will give you a good angle to get started on. At least that's what I did. So one of the downsides that I have to this mock right now is that it doesn't really have a stand. Like the speeder bike here, I can pick up and move around and whatnot. But this one, it kind of just rests with gravity on those clear bricks there. And so it doesn't quite hold up. I'm still looking for a way to attach something onto it. Hopefully something clear, but I haven't been able to find that piece yet. I was thinking maybe the DC minifigure little angle clear piece. I just don't have any of those, so I can't experiment right now. Anyway, so that is my Din Djarin's speeder bike from The Mandalorian, Season 1, Chapter 5, The Gunslinger. I hope you guys like it. I really had fun trying to work on it. There are just a few things that I really wanted to get in here that a lot of people hadn't been able to do. I wanted to try to get the legs, try to get the minifigure to sit on it, very much like the speeder bikes, like I'd mentioned before. I wanted to have the front of it not look so blocky, and I think I did a pretty good job of not making it look blocky at all. But, last thing before you go, if you stuck out this long, you're going to be very proud because you're about to see something that I personally believe could revolutionize the way people make speeder bikes and handlebars in the future of Lego. And maybe somebody's already done this before. Now I think about it, I'm probably not the first one, but let's just show you. All right. So if I bring this guy close, or gal, bring this gal close. If you look right at these handlebars, so you have the forks coming up right here, and then it goes into this little piece. This is one of those little gun pieces that came with Jango Fett in the small set that he was in with the Corporate Alliance tank droid. Anyway, he used these as his blasters. So we got these Jingle Blasters that are tied into the robot clips, that is tied into a flick fire missile, that's tied into a bar holder with clip, that's tied into a pneumatic tee that's attached to a flag. And that is how I built the front forks. But up here, where the minifigure is holding on there, I did use minifigure hands clipped in because, oh man, ever since I saw that one set that somebody had some mock where they used minifigure hands instead of like actual bar pieces, I realized that you can get a lot of wiggle room from minifigure hands that you can't get from regular bar pieces. Not only that, but it makes these minifigures much easier to remove and replace because you're able to take them off without having to unclip the hands. The hands just come right off. It's very nice and loose, but they are studded down here, which was a big deal. The red speeder bikes, they don't care as much about that because the handlebars move quite a bit. But on this particular speeder bike, a limited amount of movement is a little bit better because some of the connections are a little tenuous. I may as well go. If you're sticking around this long and you want to know more about it, let's go ahead and give you some more information, okay? So the parts that I think are a little bit tenuous as far as the structural components are right back here on the back section. It is held on by a single clip. However, after seeing the speeder bike from last week, a single clip actually does a good job if you don't have a ton of weight on it. Right here, where a pneumatic tee goes through a 1x2 plate with holes into a jumper plate, 1x2, that connection isn't the most solid, but it actually works pretty good. And then I'm trying to think if there's any other. Oh, right here, we actually used a fun technique to put anti-studs next to each other. And that made the forks just a little bit wider. If you look right here, you can see the crack right in the middle. Crack in the middle. And that's where these two modified plates with clips actually come together. And they're not really held together. They can get a little bit off. And so when you put your minifigure on, you just straighten it a little bit, kind of like with the speeder bikes from last week. But personally, I think this speeder bike looks pretty darn good. As a matter of fact, I think it looked so good that I actually made a couple extras. If I can find them really quick. Hold on, guys. There we go. All right, so I made a blue one for the blue Mando, and I made a green one for the green Mando as well. So let's go ahead. There, let me get you a better shot for you guys. There we go. That's a little bit better, isn't it? There we go. So I made a few of them. Just like I did last week, I ended up making another red speeder from last week, so now I've got 3 of those. And now I've got 3 of these Mandalorian speeders. It's not Corellia. So hope you guys had a great one. Hope you have an awesome weekend. And upcoming, I do have an announcement for my next video. My next video is going to be a live puzzle build. I've got one of 2 different sets. I may put a poll up on like Wednesday and see what you guys think I should do between the 2 sets, and we'll kind of go to there. So thanks again for checking out TJ's Lego Room. I hope you had an enjoyable time. Again, I'm going to try to have these up on Rebrickable. I'm sorry if this is really rambling. It is very, very early in the morning, and it's not because I woke up early. So we'll guys catch you later in TJ's Lego Room, and until next time, play well. See ya. And pass out.